Sassy T. I have to make sure to big up for that. Hello, Sassy T. Hi. You know, I'm still have to put on my glasses though so we can see all of this, right? So. Alright, let me put on my glasses. As always, you know the thing, Gary, right? Okay. Hi, Paula. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Sassy T. Hi, Wayne. Thank you for joining the Vag-jay-jay movement. I hope you learned something tonight. Hi. Hi, Cuteness Burton. Hi, Russell. Alex! Hey, look here. So, you know, like last week when I had my friends from all over coming on, when you come on, please just say where you're coming from. Well, you know, where you're representing. Even for Jamaica. And by the way, to my Jamaican friends, if it's raining where you are, please stay safe. Please don't go out there and try to cross it. If you cannot cross it, stay in your yard. Alright? So Alex, hi. So tell me where you're representing from again, Alex. The big ATL. Hi, Ian. I'm happy that you're back as we continue the Vag-jay-jay conversation. I was gonna play something, but I don't want to play anything on Facebook. Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you. Jamaica, alright. Well, no bother with the flag, you know, because I might not recognize all the flags. Alright. Thank you. I'm just trying to put in my Hi, Karen. Karen from Florida. How you doing? 7.5. I'm just typing in this thing. I know, right? I know. Sometimes I'm really not nice to my hair, but my hair is always nice to me. Hi, Peaches. Hey, Express. All right. I'm trying. Okay. If somebody can tell me how to pin this thing, I'm trying to pin it, but I don't remember. You know, when you have to. Oh, okay. Got it. Hi, Susu. We getting there. Thank you. Thank you. And I need to see my Cola, if you're here, Nicola, if you're in, just wave so I can know that you're here. So we can get it all started. Because we have a lot to talk about tonight, guys. A lot. Hi, Odell. Oh, Cola, you're here. Hi, Cola. Alright. So, you are live with Dara. Hi, Sue. Teacher, I know, that's the thing. You are live with Dara. So, people troubling me over the last week to say, when since you turn vagina expert? Well, no, I'm not an expert on the vagina. Let me just say that. But I was born with one, and I've had it for years. So I should know something about the vagina. And, you know, that's why we're having this conversation, because there are a lot of things as us as females, we really don't know about the vagina. Hi, Cola. Thank you, Cam. We really don't know a lot. Really, if you admit it to yourself, if you just do a self-check, you realize, hold on, it's a lot of things we really don't know about this vaginal. So now is the opportunity to learn from this conversation. And tonight we'll be talking about waxing, because I know a lot of males have approached me. This is a female chat, but I know my males are here as well, about getting waxed and what it entails, etc., etc. So I have the expert here who will tell us all about that. And of course, the conversation started last week. We were looking at the different ways to take care of your vagina, but we didn't have an expert. So tonight we have a doctor in the house, and she will give her opinion on the issues that we have discussed. So remember now, what we talk about here, it's for you to get the knowledge, you to gain the knowledge from it, and you will decide what you want to do after. I mean, if you are pro douching, if you're pro steaming, if you are none of the above, if you decide that you want to keep all your pubic hair on, or if you decide that you want to shave it all off, or if you decide that you want to go around every day without a panty, or if you decide this and I can't do without it. This is the conversation that we're going to have now as we decide where we go, how we go forward. So, again, thank you for being here. Thank you. I mean, let me welcome all the persons in the room who were born with a vagina, a vag, a pum pum, a punani, a pokey. I'm trying to remember all of them. A coochie, the good. I am in over my head. Well, you learn tonight, Odell. Whatever it is. And for those who weren't born with it, but you're here, I want to welcome you to the vagina movement, because you can learn from this. You can learn in terms of your partner and what signs to look out for, the kind of conversation that you can have with your partner in going forward. So thank you very much for being here. So something that came out of the live last week was the issue of pubic hair, where the experts, they were saying that, keep the pubic hair, because the pubic hair is there to protect you, to protect the vagina, from dirt, from the bad bacteria, etc., etc. But we all know, most of us, we take it all off. Some will keep it on. So we're going to have this conversation tonight about, what to do. The best she's going to give us her opinion on the different ways of removing it. Or you might just decide that, listen, we can't bother all of that, I'm going to keep it. So right now, I'm going to invite an esthetician, Nicola Johnson, and she's going to come on, and we're going to have a conversation about the pubic hair. Let me see, cola. All right, hold on. Yes, get your popcorn. Cola, I sent you a request. Are you seeing it? Hi, Charlie. Hi, Ninja, O'Neill. I'm happy to see the meals out tonight. I'm hoping that you learn from it. So, let me just tell you something while I wait on Cola to come on. I remember a friend of mine, she was telling me that she had to go and do the waxing. And I was like, whoa, yeah man, go and try it. But what I didn't do, I should have tried it in moderation. So instead of going there and doing it, oh, there she is. Hi, Cola. Always learned that Peggy Thomas. So I'm not seeing your forehead, Cola. Now willing to give him up. Are you hearing me? Oh, she's off. Let me get her back on. Yeah. So my friend was telling me, to go and try it, man, because it's really nice, It's really nice, and you'll enjoy it because it gives you the sense of freedom when you remove it all. So I went there, right? And I decided to get it removed. Miss, that was an experience. Cola? All right, hold on. There it is. send a request. Yeah. So it was an experience. So I went inside there and she was like, hey, come on in. You should have fun, blah, 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 blah. And then Cola said, okay, lie down. No, to lie down and have a, you have to take off the clothes. And she was like, listen, relax. We're here for one purpose, to get rid of the hair and everything like that. And she put on the wax. And of course the wax was nice because it's nice and warm. And the first Cola rip, I said, Blinky. I was like, oh my God. She said, no, because, persons might have heard me inside there screaming out. It was that bad. But let me tell you something. You see, when it was over, it was the best experience ever. I was like, I wanted to walk out of there naked. Why am I not getting Cola? It's saying she's unable to join. Nicola, I don't know what is happening. Can you send me a request so we can live up with you? We can get you on. Yeah, so it was the best experience ever. Because before that, it was the shaving for me. And I realized the shaving wasn't working because I have an issue with razor bumps. And no matter how I try, the razor bumps, send a request. Okay, view request, go live with Cola. Okay, let me see if she's on now. Right. So I've had issues with razor bumps and everything like that.
Yay,
There
I'm
she
on.
is. Nicola.
Hi,
Hello, what's happening now?
everybody.
We're doing. We're
Welcome.
here. Hi. So meet Nicola Johnson. Nicola is an esthetician. And Nicola does everything from the makeup to the lashes. To what else, Nicola? To waxing.
Facial treatments.
All right. So your Wi-Fi, I think your signal is going in and out. Are you hearing her well, guys?
Are you hearing me now?
I am hearing you, but the connection is poor because I'm not seeing the image that well.
Ooh.
All right, but continue talking. Let me see if everything will come in. Last week I had this issue, so let's see how it works out this week. So, Cola, let me ask you the first thing before I finish telling them the story. Let's talk about trimming. Let's talk about shaving. Let's talk about waxing. And let's talk about laser. Because those are like the 4 types of hair removal. Am I correct?
Okay, the Wi-Fi keeps going in and out. But you're speaking about lasering, trimming, waxing, shaving. Yes,
Right.
those are the most common hair removal techniques. But my favorite, of course, is waxing because
All right. So let me
waxing.
tell you what happened. I'm not seeing you so clearly.
Okay.
And I'm wondering if you rejoin. Let me see if that will work because I want to ensure that they hear what you have to say.
Oh, let me rejoin.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. So I will finish telling you the story now. So when Cola was finished, I was like, ah, I wanted to walk out of there naked. It felt so good. It felt so good after doing the waxing. And I was asking her why. She said, everybody who visit her facility, and well, I guess it's something with waxing overall. That's the experience they have. It's like a brand new them with the waxing. So after that, every time I visit Cola, I normally just go there in a nice little dress. And when I'm finished, I just leave out of there, have a no panty day, and leave out of there because it's the most wonderful experience ever, 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 ever. Now, like the experts, they're saying, you should leave it on. But I'm almost sure that somebody else will say, no, you can take it off or you can groom it. And that's what I want Nicola to tell us about. Let me see if she's on now because I want to use up the time. We're like 17 minutes in and I don't want to have, let's try again, all right? Thank you for your patience. Thank you. don't know why this is not happening. So you see, should I continue? Hi guys. Hi guys. Hi Kamika. Hi Chrome. I'm just killing some time while I wait on Cola to come on. Yeah, preparation is definitely yes. Preparation is key. You don't want to go to get your waxing done, and of course, you are not wash good. Wash yourself properly. Don't go and let people in place go open up and you're not ready for it. Just to let you know. So ensure that you are prepared for that. All right. And it's a mind thing. So you have to. I'm not gonna beat around the bush. Let me just let you know that it is painful, but over time it gets better. Okay, Cola is back. Over time it gets better, and it's way, way, way better, in my opinion, better than doing the shaving. If you understand what I'm saying, I've never done the razor, but I've also heard about the laser. Sorry, the laser treatment. I've heard about that, but I understand that it's very expensive. Okay, I'm connecting now. Okay, Cola. So let's go into it quickly because you only have 12 minutes.
Okay.
Trim, shave, wax, laser. Quickly, tell me the difference.
Okay, so trimming is
In our work tonight at all.
or from nearing, and they simply probably can't afford laser treatment, which is very expensive. Speaking about laser, laser is not a one-time treatment. So laser removes the hairs from the skin, from the follicle, and damages the hair. So the hairs don't grow back over a period of time. But that is costly, and it takes a lot of treatment. So you have to keep going and going and going until. With waxing now, waxing removes the hairs from the follicle of the skin. So they grow back time, they grow more sparse. And the duration for waxing, it lasts you for like 2 to 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks being on your hair growth. With shaving now, shaving cuts the hairs from the surface of the skin, right? And you get a lot of ingrowth from shaving. You probably see hair start growing back from 2 to 3 days, sometimes the same. So I always advise my clients to wax because waxing is more effective. As you see, you feel better about yourself. It's hygienic, and it lasts you longer, and it is expensive. Right. Tweezing.
So,
Tweezing is tweezing. It hurts. It takes a longer time for you to do.
oh, there's
And
tweezing?
yes,
Hold
there
on.
is tweezing.
Are you saying people tweeze out all of that 400 million strand from the vagina?
Yes. People do that. People have a very strong threshold for pain, does it? And it's quite effective and time consuming, but it works.
Okay, let me ask you something. Are you using your Wi-Fi or your data?
Oh, the Wi-Fi isn't working. But are you hearing me any
So
at
come
all?
off the Wi-Fi and just go straight to your data. I'm hearing you, but we're just not seeing you clearly.
Oh, okay. Let me switch. Sorry.
Hi, Garnet. Hi, pretty eye. Pretty eye. All right. I believe I'm gonna ask you to change your location. In the meantime, I think I need to. Dr. Robin, I am coming to you now We'll talk about a different issue. We'll talk about that until we get caller back on the phone or on the phone. We'll talk about all the other issues until we get caller back. Whatever can go wrong will, guys, we just have to work with it, right? Okay. Hi.
Hi.
Hi, Dr. Robin. So, guys, I want you to meet Robin Kenlani. She's a medical doctor with almost 10 years experience in the field. And Dr. Robin, let me just tell you. So, we started this conversation last week. I will pick up with Cola and the issue. There was something they were saying for good vaginal health. You should leave the pubic hair on.
Right.
What says Dr. Robin?
Okay, so the truth is pubic hair does have a benefit. It provides a healthy barrier to the vagina. So basically having hair will provide this cushion to prevent against friction, rubbing, irritation, and it also will prevent, as you had said before, bacteria from getting into the vagina. With that said, there is still a role, to like groom and, for the bikini area. So yes, you should still keep some amount of pubic hair. I wouldn't say remove all of it, but if you want to do a little bit of grooming or get rid of some, then yes, that's also fine. Nicola was mentioning the different methods, and you had mentioned some of the different methods as well. And I had told you from before that I am a pro wax.
Okay.
Definitely pro wax.
And let us know why you're pro wax.
So, essentially shaving, gives a lot of women razor bumps or like folliculitis. So, on top of the fact that, it's a little bit unsightly, the folliculitis itself, the bumps can get infected. When they become infected, they can become painful, they can become red, and you have to be taking antibiotics, all of these things. So, waxing is better because you see when you shave, as I said, when you shave, the hair will come back thicker, right? And then you have to be taking all of these precautions if you're going to shave. So you have to make sure the razor is sharp, make sure the razor is clean, go in one direction, which is usually in the direction of the hair growth. If you're going to shave the area to prevent ingrowns and those things, you actually should exfoliate or scrub the area as well, especially in the bikini area, to prevent a lot of ingrowns from forming back or ingrowns in general. So waxing itself will take away all of that. When the hair does grow back, it grows back a lot thinner as well, and over time it will become so thin that you probably won't even want to have to wax the area. So waxing and laser, I should mention, laser is also good, but as she had mentioned, laser you'd have to do several sessions and it's a little bit expensive. So that is why I'm pro wax.
All right. So with the hair now, let's say we decide that we want to keep a little of the pube on, right?
All right.
There's this thing of hygiene, etc. Because our climate is one where it's hot. Right? To have hair down there on top of everything else that's going on. I mean, what do you think about that?
Well, the truth is, the hair actually acts as I mentioned the hair acts as a barrier. So, for example, when down there is hot, right, and it's very humid, so everybody knows that, when down there is hot and you have a lot of moisture, that's a perfect nidus for yeast to basically form and for yeast to basically grow. But the truth is, having a little bit of hair, especially like in the mons going down onto the labia, it kind of will absorb all of that and it will keep down there cool. Because anywhere that has hair and that sweats here, actually, it's the opposite. You would think that it would become very hot, but the area is actually cooler when you have hair there.
Really?
Yes, it's actually cooler. It doesn't become hotter. So it would actually become hotter and sweat more with no hair than if it is that you had the hair.
What? All right. Let me ask you something, Doc. Why is it that we as women, right? We don't talk about the vagina. We're not open to speaking about the vagina and vaginal health, etc. What is it? What is it that we're afraid of?
So I think a lot of women are, very private when it comes to that. Usually, for example, I can tell you from personal experience that when I do see patients, sometimes they're not willing to open out to me. Like the very first visit, it will take them a while, before they will tell me, the serious issues that they're having. And I think there's a lot of stigma surrounded about talking about the vagina. Like even the word vagina, people don't even like to say that word. But I mean, as a OBGYN, that's a word that I say like every day. So it's no big deal to me. So talking about it is not, it's not a big deal, but it's just a lot of stigma associated with it. And I think people, when they think about like genital region in general, so like vagina, breast, they just automatically think of something sexual. But yes, there are sexual organs, but I mean, not everything is directly related to, we're not going down the line of sex every time we talk about the vagina. Vaginal health is just as important, or very, very important.
Yeah. So how do you get them comfortable enough to talk to you? Because as women, we have different issues affecting us. And I mean, I think the doctor, or reaching the stage of the doctor, is like the last resort. You try to fix it at home first or
Yes,
whatever.
all the time they try to fix it at home,
Uh-huh.
which is also not a good idea. I should mention that.
Uh-huh.
So I mean, usually just have to build a relationship with the patient, try and talk to them, let them feel comfortable with you. I find that sometimes if you let patients, because I mean, for me, I'm a female, so a lot of the things that they say, sometimes I can actually relate. Like, I understand. I mean, we are the same. So I find that sometimes, you know, if you like talk to them about something about personal experiences, then they're more likely to open out to you and, you know, tell you everything. And as I said, over time, when you build a relationship, then they're more likely to open up to you.
All right. So there's something I spoke about last week, and a few of my friends on the live, they were laughing. I have said to them that I don't like to wear thongs, and I don't like to wear G-string because I believe that my vagina is suffocating in them.
Right.
I only wear it when I need to. But based on the research, so you have the cotton and you have the lace and you have the
Right.
silk and satin and whatever, and people think,
Right.
oh, it's nice to be in your silk and satin panty. But really, especially for our climate, that is not good. Am I correct?
You're absolutely correct. It is not good. It's 100% cotton all day, every day is actually what you should wear.
But I like lace. So what about the lace?
No, lace is still not good. So a lot of these, I should just tell you why is cotton good. So cotton is breathable and it's 100% absorbent. So basically, it absorbs a lot of it absorbs all of the moisture. So it goes back to the same thing that we were saying earlier. So lace, silk, nylon, all of those, they're not absorbent. So the moisture is just going to sit in the area, and the moisture again is going to provide a nidus or a source for infection and bacteria to grow and replicate. So that is why those specific fabrics are not good, and that is why cotton itself is supposed to be cotton panties, cotton underwear.
Cotton panties, especially for
Yes.
us here.
Yeah, for sure, cotton.
All right. So
As I said,
go ahead.
no, I was saying because as I said, it's gonna absorb the moisture. So down there, it's not gonna, even if you're sweating, it's not gonna feel as sweaty, and it's definitely not gonna allow for any kind of fungus to replicate or anything like that. So.
Okay. All right. I've heard that, and it's something I practice, the no panty day.
Right.
Right?
Right.
I sometimes I believe that you should just let it breathe. You should just let
Right.
it live. Is that healthy?
Yes. So wearing no underwear is beneficial. I would say that if you're not gonna wear any underwear, perfect time to wear it is not to wear it, I should say, is in the nighttime. Why? Because of course, I mean, we live in Jamaica, so nighttime too tend to be cooler. Also, when you're, you know, when down there has no underwear and the temperature has become cool, studies have shown that it actually will help you to fall asleep quicker as well. So I don't think
Hold
I'm
on, say that again. We're going without panties in the night will allow you to fall asleep quicker.
Yeah, it would also help you to fall asleep. Yeah, because it's down there, it's just cool and airy and nice and free. So yeah, it will actually help you to fall asleep. But I mean, the daytime, I'm not really a pro daytime because I'm kind of thinking that we still live in Jamaica. Down there can become very sweaty still. And I mean, if you're gonna do that, I would assume that or suggest that you don't wear jeans that day or anything at all. That it would be a dress or a skirt that you'd be wearing in the daytime. But as I said, the perfect time to do that is in the nighttime.
Because somebody's asking, what about when exercising?
No, so definitely not when exercising for two reasons. So a lot of the exercise materials and stuff, none of they're stretchy. So again, not really cotton. So again, nylon, etc. kind of fabric. So when you exercise, you're going to sweat. The sweat is gonna stay down there. It's gonna cause the yeast to grow, and then you have on that kind of fabric on top of it, which is gonna cause even more sweating and just a very just an environment that's just full of moisture. So no, you should not have on underwear when you're exercising. I had seen that somebody was asking me about lace with a cotton crotch, then yes, that's actually fine, right? So as long as the crotch of it is cotton, then yes, that's fine.
Okay. So I remember going to the beach, right? And I was at the beach all day, in and out of the water, and didn't change. And then it was like in the night that I came out the swimsuit.
Oh boy.
The following day, I was like,
I can imagine, yes.
tell me why. I mean, educate us on this.
Again, so anything that's wet, so that swimsuit that you were saying again was providing us a lot of moisture down in that area. So beach, pool, and going to the gym. As soon as you leave those places, you're to change and you're to bathe and you're to put on a nice fitting, comfortable underwear. So yes, you got a yeast infection essentially from keeping on the swimsuit that long. Yeah.
How long should you wear? How long should one wear their undies?
Well, for hygiene purposes, I suggest that you bathe at least twice per day. And every time you bathe, you should change your underwear. So if you bathe 3 times per day, then yeah, change it 3 times per day. But I would never ever suggest you stay in underwear for 24 hours or more. And I would not suggest that you bathe for 1 time per day, to be honest. For hygiene purposes, you really should bathe at least twice per day. As
especially in our climate, right?
Yes, for sure. Right. And if you're gonna bathe, you're gonna automatically want to change your underwear.
All right, so I have some friends that it's thong or G-string all day, every day. And I'm telling them that I have an issue with that because, as I said, it's suffocating my vagina.
Right.
Oh, you agree with me?
So the thing about the G-string and the thongs, so so those types of underwears, they don't provide a lot of coverage. So because of how they're designed and because of the outline of them, they're going to actually cause a lot of friction, especially if you wear one that's tight. So the area between the underwear that you have on and your vulva or your vaginal area is just going to be rubbing. So you can shave, the skin can get irritated, the skin can become red, infected. So I also don't like thongs and G-strings because remember, again, because of this design of them, the area basically in the bottom part is very thin. Now, what a lot of people, I don't know if they know, but any kind of stool particles from that end can actually travel up to the front end where the urethra is. And you can actually get a urinary tract infection if you do wear thongs or G-strings persistently, recurrently. And the type of urinary tract infection you will get is from something called E. coli. And E. coli is one of the commonest causes of urinary tract infections. And then other things like hemorrhoids, if you wear G-strings or thongs, if you do have hemorrhoids, they can actually make the hemorrhoids worse. So no, I would say. So
in our climate, you are suggesting that we go with the bingo bags, the granny bags.
No, I never said that. I think a lot of women would like murder me if I was to say that. No, because I mean, we're women, so at the end of the day, you do want to feel sexy. But I mean, there are other different types of underwear that you can wear. You don't necessarily have to wear a thong or a G-string to feel sexy. And if you're going to wear the thong or the G-string, again, make sure that the crotch part is cotton and not nylon, silk, etc. Right? So this.
Go ahead.
And I was gonna say yes, you need to wear your size for sure.
Let's come to that. No, because that was something that we were talking about as well. Because you have some ladies, you can actually see the panty cutting into their skin. It's like really, really tight. How do you know your size?
Well, I mean, usually when you buy underwear or usually when you buy anything, there is always like a chart or a size measurement, or you could measure yourself in terms of even like just doing your hip or waist measurement to see the measurement around there. I don't think there's a specific size chart for underwear. The underwear use is usually small, medium, or large, but you should try and get the size that fits the closest to you. So not too fat, not too tight, and not too loose.
Right.
Because if it's too tight, it's gonna suffocate you, and all of the things I just said to you in terms of why you even shouldn't be wearing it is gonna be even more in terms of the complications or the risks associated with wearing them. It's gonna be more chafing, more irritation, more sweating. It's more everything.
So here it is now. In doing the research, it says you need to toss your underwear regularly. They're suggesting that you toss it every 6 months. No, come on, Dr. Robin. Every 6 months you must throw away your panties?
No, I don't think you need to throw away your underwear every 6 months. I think that you probably could add some more, or at least every year, yes, buy some, add some more, throw away the ones that you probably had for a long time. It's kind of hard to tell a woman to change her underwear every 6 months. With that said, though, that means that you should really be washing your underwears properly. So apart from knowing the type of underwear, the cotton or the fabric or the size, washing the underwear properly is another way, again, to maintain your vaginal hygiene, or caring for your underwear, I should say, that you do have.
You mentioned washing your underwear properly. What does that entail?
So I'm a little bit old school when it comes to this. People might think it's a little weird, but I am a strong believer of washing your underwear with your hand by itself with a mild soap or detergent, very mild, right? Nothing too strong, and definitely nothing scented, and hanging it in the sun.
Right.
I don't think you should be putting it in the washing machine, and I don't think you should put it in the dryer. And if you're going to be doing those things, you need to make sure that your washing machine and dryer are clean and they're not mixed with any clothes, or at least you do some warm water bleach cycle in the washing machine first before you put your underwear. Your underwear is precious.
Because something else, as you mentioned about the separation, they're saying that you should keep your period panties separate from your everyday panties. Why?
Yeah, I don't think that's necessarily hygiene. I think that's just because sometimes, your period panties can get a little messy from like overspill or whatever if you wear tampons, or even if you wear pads, or some people use like a menstrual cup. So I think it's just really to just separate them in terms of,
Oh,
those
that's when
are the
they're
panties.
dirty.
Yeah, I just think that there are certain panties that's not anything hygiene related. That's just more because those panties are probably a little bit more likely to get soil, and if you're gonna change underwear, those are the ones that you would want to change first. So if you're gonna be disposing of panties every 6 months or so, maybe that one is the one that you would be changing. So yeah.
All right, let me just take a few questions and then I'll come back to my list of questions that I have. Crotchless panties.
No. Again, for the same reason that I had mentioned before. Crotchless panties are basically you going no underwear. I wouldn't even see the purpose necessarily of wearing it, because there's not going to be anything covering that area. So that's like you asking me if we should walk around with no pants during the daytime or in the nighttime. So I think my answer that I gave before in terms of that would stand for this. So no crotchless panty.
All right. What about wearing a panty liner a lot?
Oh, I'm glad this person asked me this question. No, definitely no. You don't need to wear a panty liner every day. This is a little pet peeve of mine, to be honest. When patients come to me and they're like, they wear a liner every day, I'm like, why? You don't need to wear a liner every day. You don't.
All right. Another question. What about feminine wash?
All right. So feminine washes. All right. So I'm sure people have heard this before. The vagina is a self-cleaning area. The vulva is a self-cleaning area. So technically speaking, you don't need anything to clean it. It cleans itself, which means that technically speaking, all you need is warm water, and that's it. To go on the vulva, to go on the vagina. Yes, it is. The area itself is a self-cleaning. But I know this topic is one of the controversial topics when it comes to vaginal health. So I'll say that what I said in terms of the vagina again is a self-cleaning organ. It maintains its own self, thankfully. However, if somebody was going to use a feminine wash, or if you want to use something, make sure it is not scented. It's not something that's going to dry out the vagina, and it's something that is basically not harsh and easy. It's gonna be easy on the area. So I know a lot of women do use it, but then they use these scented products and these fancy things, and the vagina, technically speaking, doesn't really need to smell like lavender, or it doesn't need to smell like a flower. It's supposed to smell like a vagina. so 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 you sorry, I was just reading some of the comments. So no, if you want to use something like a wash, then fine. But again, don't let it go on the inside of the inside of the vagina itself. If you're gonna be using something like that, then it has to be on the outside, as in the vulva, not on the inside of the vagina itself. And that's another reason why I don't necessarily encourage it, because anything that you use on the outside, no matter how you try, if you're up in the shower and you're bathing, some of it is gonna get on the inside, and it can affect, right? And any of those things can affect your vaginal pH and your normal vaginal flora. So no, I'm a no to washes, but if, as I said, if you're gonna use them, then you take that advice.
Okay, so last week we were discussing the issue of the douching.
Right.
And let me get your take, because I think I know where you're coming from with the douching now. But what's your take on douching?
So douching is an absolute no-no, like a huge no-no. That's not even something that I'm willing to compromise on with patients. So like the feminine wash that I was saying before, if you're gonna, like, so when they come into the office and they ask me about it, I'm just like, okay, well, if you're insisting on using it, then try XYZ. But after that, douche is a no. Like, I can say no 10 times to this.
All right. So let's go now to the steaming, the yoni steam. What's your take on that? Because before you say that, persons have come on to say it's the best thing ever, and when they steam down there, it's like the same flowery thing, and they have the pearl that you put up there, and the pearl will pull down all the toxins. What say you?
Yeah. All right. So you're asking me about the vaginal steam and the yoni pearls, right?
Yeah, right.
Right. Okay. So let me start with the yoni pearls first, because I see a lot of comments about that. So again, I can say no 10 times to this. And again, I know that this is a very controversial topic, and I'm not trying to bash anybody or anybody's service or anything like that. And I know it's a very particular topic, but no, any OBGYN is gonna say no to a yoni pearl. So when you read about yoni pearls, or when you see them, they're these basically little balls made of herbal material, different herbal material. Don't know how these herbal materials are supposed to help the vagina itself, and they're surrounded by a mesh. Now, these things I recommend to stay in the vagina for 24 to 72 hours. That is, in and of itself, extremely harmful and extremely dangerous, because I don't know if people have ever heard of toxic shock syndrome. So that's people usually akin to when people put in tampons and they wear them for too long. So it's a tampons, you have to take out within 8 hours. If you keep it in for longer, you'll get toxic shock syndrome. It's the same thing with the yoni pearls. Remember, the pearls are surrounded by a mesh-like material, and a mesh-like material is a foreign agent, right? We don't know really what it's made out of. So you have the risk of getting toxic shock syndrome. The second thing is that you'll get a lot of cramping pain sometimes in your lower abdomen, because your vagina and your uterus are just like, what is this foreign body inside me? Why is it in there for 1, 2, 3 days? And then the other thing is that I've seen the pictures of the pearls and the images of the discharge that, women said that, this discharge came out when they took out the pearl. Yes, that discharge is gonna come out because, again, you kept in the pearls for 2, 3 days, and your body is like, hey, you're disturbing my normal vaginal flora, and it's gonna make that kind of clumpish, grayish looking discharge, because the pearl is not supposed to be there, and you're disturbing the normal bacteria and the normal harmony of the vaginal flora. So And yeah, you're gonna say, but it's only 2 days. But I'm gonna say, yes, it's 2 days. That's long enough for your body to be like, hey, what is this? Let me produce this extra discharge because I know these pearls are not supposed to be here.
Ah. Okay, so let's go to the steaming now.
So the steaming, again, I am a no for. The steaming is the same like the douching and the yoni pearls. All of these things, at the end of the day, they're just disturbing and throwing off the good bacteria in your vagina. And I think I probably said this several times. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but the bacteria in your vagina are supposed to be in like a good bacteria that's supposed to be preventing all of these things. Again, steaming in one of them that's gonna inhibit or disturb the good bacteria, and it's gonna cause it to get an infection. So I think steaming sometimes too, depending on the temperature of the water, it can lead to like burns and scalds. So the risk or complications of that is not as much as the only pearls, but it's not something that I would recommend at all still.
So somebody just said putting your finger up your pum pum, not good either. I guess they're doing the check.
As long as your finger is clean, I guess you can put your finger inside, but right, but no, if you're gonna put your finger inside your vagina, it's just that you need to make sure that your hands are clean and washed.
So let me tell you something about with me, So when I come home sometimes, I like to do my panty check. And my panty check is when I take it off, I go like this. Because you can know what is going on based off the scent that you're getting from it.
Right.
Is that something that you'd advise other persons? Well, maybe not. I don't know how else they will do it. Yeah.
So you don't necessarily need to put it up to your face per se, but yes, getting an idea of your body and knowing what is a normal smell for you is not a bad idea. So yes, you can smell. Even when you take off the panties, I said you don't necessarily need to put it up to your face, but you'll be able to smell. So at the end of the day, the truth is, especially if you are at work and stuff, you will have a change in your smell, a little odor. But that odor is just because of like being at work, sweat, the fact that you probably just need to take a shower. And usually in those situations, when you do take a shower and you wake up the next day, the smell is not there. So knowing what's normal for you, knowing what's normal after a long day, or even knowing what's normal after your menstrual cycle, people can get a change in the odor or the smell coming from their vagina during or after their menstrual cycle. So the importance of that is to know what is normal, so that when something totally abnormal or it's very fishy smell comes up, then at that time we know to go to the doctor.
So somebody's asking what type of discharges are normal.
So usually typical female discharge is white, thin, no itching, no odor. So it's not green, it's not yellow, it's not gray. There is no itching and there is no odor. At the time that people ovulate, that's usually in the middle of their cycle, it becomes into a clearish, almost like a stretchy egg white discharge. So that is what is considered normal.
There is this thing, boric acid separatories.
Right.
What's your take on that? Because when I hear about boric acid, as I was saying last week, it's like the boric powder that they used to kill rat or roach or something like that. So is it the same thing that they're not recommending that you use?
All right, so you have to take that into context in terms of when and how they recommended the boric acid. And this is something that you had mentioned to me even before. So I had actually went and did my own research again on it. So boric acid is not something that we say put in your vagina, every day. It's not like we're telling you to it's not like you're taking a vitamin, like a vitamin C tablet. So no, I wouldn't tell you to take or put in a boric acid capsule into your vagina every day. But there is a role for boric acid use, but that is after some time that you and your doctor consult about it. So people who have recurrent yeast infections, so recurrent meaning that over a year or a 12-month period, they've had 4 or more infections, yeast infections, that is in that specific time frame. So for those patients, there is a certain regime of antifungals, or we change up their medication. So we kind of know what to give them. Not a regular one-off yeast infection. This is somebody who's had now 4 for the year.
Mm-hmm.
So for those patients, yes, on top of the fact that we would be giving them the antifungals or their treatment, if those things have still not worked, right? And in consultation with your OBGYN, if the doctor does think that this is not a regular candida albicans, the kind of candida or yeast that you have is maybe like what we call refractory, or the antifungal wouldn't necessarily work for that specific species of yeast or candida, then yes, boric acid can be given to those patients, but only for 2 weeks vaginally. So no, so as I said, boric acid is not something that you're going to be using every day, but is there a role for it? Yes, but again, you have to take it into context. So somebody who again has 2 yeast infections, you can't just go see a doctor and be like, hey, I want some boric acid. No, that is something that you and a doctor would have to talk about, because again, if you're having recurrent yeast infections, that doctor would want to investigate or try and find out why you're having the recurrent infections. Is it that you're diabetic and this is how it's presenting? Is it that you're immunosuppressed? Are you on the pill? What are you doing that's causing it? So no, it wouldn't be for everybody, but there is still a role for its use.
I'm going to ask you something. I know somebody's asking, what's good to balance your pH?
What's good to balance your pH? Keeping your vagina happy and healthy. So there is nothing to balance your pH. So normal pH, let me explain that pH balance and how it comes about. So the pH of your vagina is acidic, right? Which means the pH is about 3.8 to 4.5. How is it acidic, or why it's acidic? Because in the vagina itself, you have like a colony or these microorganisms, right? A group of them specifically is called lactobacilli or lactobacillus, right? Those produce lactic acid. And it's the lactic acid that they're producing that, 1, makes it acidic, and 2, prevents infection. So based on what I just explained, then no, there is nothing to balance it. You just need to be able to care it. And once you care it, you wear the proper panty, you maintain your hygiene, you change your clothes after you go to the gym, you wash out your panty properly, all of those little things, then no, your pH would be balanced.
Can contraceptive cause recurrent yeast infection?
Yes, that's that. Yeah, it can. The combined oral contraceptive pill is a risk factor for recurrent yeast infections.
All right, so I have this question now. Based on my research, right? I hear if you eat only the pineapple, it is good for the vag. Yeah.
I don't know about that one. I would have to do my research on that and get back to you.
Please do. I really want you to do your research.
I don't know about it being helpful. I mean, I've heard that too. I've heard that it makes it taste good. I've heard other things about it, but no, I'm not sure if pineapple necessarily does any of those things to the vagina per se.
I hear everybody talking about this pineapple thing, so they make me turn a believer in this pineapple thing. I eat pineapple all day, every day.
Well, I'm sure they're getting the other benefits of the pineapple. Not sure how well it's helping the vagina.
Somebody asked, what about the honeymoon infection? When you haven't had sex for a while, then you do.
So I think what the person is asking me is about honeymoon cystitis. So honeymoon cystitis is an infection in the bladder, actually. So it's a urinary tract infection. And the reason why they call it honeymoon cystitis is because people, when they go on their honeymoon, they have a lot of sex, right? But usually we advise you to pee after sex, because what can happen after sex is that any kind of sweat or bacteria from the vagina can go up to where the urethra is, and from the urethra the bacteria can ascend into the bladder and you can get an infection. So the honeymoon infection is honeymoon cystitis, or an infection in the bladder. that is akin to people after a honeymoon, but it's just basically a bladder infection that you get after you're having a lot of sex, or yeah, after you're having a lot of sex and you're not peeing after sex. So peeing after sex is very important, and I just explain why. So as I said, you peeing to kind of get rid of if any sweat or any kind of sweat, if you use lubricant, any kind of bacteria in the vagina that just ascended up from where the vagina is to the urethra, at least when you pee, it would just flush it out instead of ascending upward.
So there's this question. At what point are panty liners? At what point are panty liners? Not sure why wearing it every day is a no-no.
Yeah, because again, there is no reason to wear a panty liner every day. The panty liners again are gonna provide moisture. It's gonna allow more sweat to build up. It's just gonna create more heat down there. And I find that women, and they also have panty liners that are scented. I mean, people wear those as well. And I find that sometimes people who wear panty liners every day, those are people that sometimes do have infections. And once they change the things and change in terms of changing their daily habits, then their risk of infection or their recurrence of infection kind of slows or goes away.
There's another question. If someone has yeast infection, can that affect oral sex?
So I would say yes, because yeast can live anywhere, by the way. So yeast can live in your mouth, it can live in your vagina, it can live in your toe, it can live in your nail, it can live anywhere. So I would say that if you do have a yeast infection, which again, yeast is not sexually transmitted, but if you do have a yeast infection, you should probably get the infection treated first, not have intercourse, oral or penetrative, during the time that you're on treatment. Wait until it is treated and then proceed.
There's this other thing. You have the cold sore, right? That's the I'm not sure of the name.
The herpes,
right?
right.
And you have oral sex. Can you now pass on that to the females for her to get genital herpes?
Yeah, so herpes, there are two types of herpes, type 1 and type 2. So type 2 affects the genital region. Type 1, majority of it affects the oral region, but a small percentage of it actually does affect the genital region as well. So if it is you have active lesions, it's actually not recommended during that time that you have any kind of intercourse, so oral or penetrative, because the risk of transmission to your partner will be higher because the sore is there, or in the vaginal area. What we call viral shedding, or the shedding of the virus, is going to be much more. So transmission is higher. With that said, I should just mention one small thing about herpes.
All right, Dr. Robin, here's what happened now. Because we started late, I know see no one where I have 1 minute. I know I asked you for a half an hour. If I end this live and come back, can you give me another 10 minutes or so? Let me just get the rest of the questions in.
Sure.
And guys, I'm going to end this live just to facilitate so it doesn't run out on us. And then you just rejoin because I don't want the time running out on us. And I really find that this is very informative, quite informative, and I don't want us to lose anything. So let me just end the live and then restart. All right, Dr. Robin?
Okay, sure.
All right.